So good evening, bonsoir. My name is Hélène Giroux, and I'm the director of the Wakefield Writers Festival. On behalf of the festival, we welcome guests on the ancient territory of the Algonquin people, who for over 200 years have received us all as their guests. Together, we recognize that we gather on land that is unceded Algonquin territory. We acknowledge this with respectful thanks, advocacy, and action towards reparation and reconciliation. Thank you. Je suis ravie de vous accueillir à notre 7e édition. I'm delighted to welcome you to our 7th edition of the Wakefield Writers Fête and to this evening's viral songs. How better to gather together after such a long while than to enjoy the music and lyrics of two of Canada's best singer-songwriters, Lynn Miles and Marie Dunn, hosted by Wakefield's own Julien Dionne. And to launch this year's festival in this beautiful new performing arts space in Chelsea, la Fab Sur Mill. It's really quite special to be here with all of you tonight. This is our first hybrid festival. We're venturing into that land, and we're delighted to welcome our online audience across Canada. Thank you very much for all of you for being with us tonight. This year's festival is a little bit different. We've all seen how the pandemic has shone a light on social injustice, on vulnerabilities, on climate change challenges. And this year's theme for our festival is the power to transform, le pouvoir de transformer. Our hope is that it will show how the literary and performing arts can contribute to wider social and environmental movements that are so critical to our future. And maybe if some are asking, what can I do? Perhaps our festival will help to answer that question as well. Festival authors and artists are all coming with a very personal, yet a universal story about a vital contemporary issue this year of social justice, and they'll share their hope with us and the way forward. This evening, Lynn and Maria very graciously accepted to write a new work each, commissioned by the festival, on homelessness. And this is inspired by tomorrow evening's performance of it's a special adaptation of the award-winning play about homelessness in Canada called Home is a Beautiful Word. So thank you, Lynn and Maria, for that. I'd like to do a few special thanks this evening, especially as we head into the hybrid world. First of all, of course, we wouldn't be able to offer our festival without the steadfast and very generous support of all of our sponsors and funders. Thank you. As well, our thanks to those who've made this year's possible. And I have not too long of a list, but I want to make sure that we recognize these wonderful people. Al Connors, live stream producer. Greg Brown, sound technician. John Schmidt, digital marketing. Elise Marlane, graphic design. Francisca Hines, photography. Erica Basque, tickets and online registration. Lisa M. Cohen, communications and media. Shelley Crabtree, volunteer coordinator, and all of our extraordinary volunteers here this evening and throughout the festival. Chris Corcoran, webmistress. La Fab Sur Mill, and also my festival organizer, Peter Gillies. Thanks to all of you for making the 2021 Writers Fête possible. Thank you. I'm now delighted to introduce Julien Dionne, our host this evening. He is, are you coming, Julien? He is a nationally touring, award-winning comedian, podcaster, and writer. He's originally from Scoudouc in New Brunswick, and he spent many years in New York and Toronto, and now he calls Wakefield home. He performs regularly in every major comedy club and festival across Canada in both English and French, including Just for Laughs Comedy Festival in Montreal. He's been overseas to entertain our Canadian Armed Forces, and his comedy can be heard on Sirius XM satellite radio. Julien writes The Hills Have Mirth, a very funny bi-weekly column in the Lowdown to Hull News and Back, and can be heard weekly on his popular podcast, The Julien Dionne Show with Jen Grant. Welcome, Julien Dionne.
Everybody, how about a big hand for Lynn? Everybody, a big hand. Oh, here we are. How are we doing? This is a beautiful space. How's everybody doing tonight? We're on a Wednesday night. We're feeling good. We're feeling loose. Good. You guys are in for a fantastic show. We have two of Canada's best singer-songwriters, as Lynn mentioned, coming up here shortly. Lynn Miles and Marie Dunn, who wrote original pieces for tonight. This is a world premiere, exclusive. You guys, do you realize what you're in for? Nobody's heard these pieces before. This is a one-time... Being in this room is special, and online, our online audience tonight, world exclusive premiere. All right. I felt excited about it. Apparently, I'm the only one. But no, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. Yes. So this is how the evening's going to go down. I'm going to come out here, as I am now, and just talk to you guys a little bit. Then I'm going to bring up Maria. She'll do a 30-minute set. Then I'll bring up Lynn. She'll do a 30-minute set. We're going to do a quick intermish, little short intermish, and then we're going to do a Q&A. We're going to sit down and do a little panel discussion, and we're really going to get to the bottom of things. We're going to get to the nitty-gritty. We're going to go deep. You guys ready? You guys ready to make a night of it or what? Yes, it's a fantastic night. I'm thrilled to be a part of it. As I mentioned, we have Lynn Miles and Maria Dunn, two fantastic singer-songwriters, and we're going to talk about the creative process and the sacredness of it all. And then you have me, a comedian. So I'm here to lighten things up, you know, because my process is so much different than theirs. I discovered that their process is very sacred. There's something almost holy to it, where it's beyond them. And my process is just like, it's leaving voice notes in my phone of things that I find dumb. You know what I mean? It's not as... Did you guys have a good pandemic? It's almost over. We're getting through it. We're getting through this pandemic here. I'm so happy to see people in the flesh and in person, live and direct. I'm just happy to be anywhere that's not drinking alone in my shed. You know what I mean? Anybody else take up to drinking in the shed in the last 18 months or so, right? Am I the only one? Because at the beginning of this pandemic, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to change my life. This is going to be amazing. I'm going to reorganize the house. I'm going to get into shape. It's going to be amazing. And about one weekend, I'm like, I'm going to go drink in the shed, actually. Seems more by speed. Because I felt self-conscious. My girlfriend, some of you may know, Jen Grant. Yes, phenomenal. Well, here's the thing. She's one of those weirdos that only drinks alcohol at night. I know, a psychopath, basically, you know? So I felt judged at the beginning of the pandemic, having replaced my coffee with a little tequila in the morning, you know what I mean? So I built a bar in the shed. Well, I built the bar in the shed. I basically put my beer on the snowblower and sat on the paint cans. You know, this is... This is where I was at most of my pandemic, just in my shed, sitting on a paint can going, okay, what happened? How did we end up here? And then I started running out of excuses to go out in the shed every morning, you know what I mean? Like for the first 6 weeks, I was organizing. I'm like, I gotta go clean the shed, Jenny. I gotta go. It's 6 by 8, you understand? It's a small shed. It's very intimate. I'm like, no, but I'm trying to use the Marie Kondo approach. I'm trying to see if this old mower sparks joy in my life, you know what I mean? I discovered the old mower does not spark joy in my life, but you know what does? A 6-pack by 11 a.m. Anyway, I like doing that joke because I have a lot of responses, like a lot of reactions. A lot of people are like, oh, that's funny. Some people are like, I think you might actually have a problem. I don't know if I want to support that. And a small percentage are like, who's Marie Kondo? I don't know. But we're getting through it. Right? We're getting through this pandemic. Well, it's almost over, hopefully. I mean, who knows? I don't know anything. But one thing I do know, I've been using the pandemic as an excuse for things and realizing that I'm a terrible person in the process. I don't know if this has happened to you, because I'm now leaning on this pen. I'm just using it as an excuse. I just met one of my best friend's firstborn child for the first time. My best friend in life. I'm like, bro, I can't believe I haven't met your kid. This is insane. This pandemic, right? It's insane. This pandemic has been crazy. He's like, man, he's 5. I'm like, oh, all right. 5. Seems quick. Is that a symptom? Accelerated life? You know what I mean? It's been a crazy year. We've pivoted. Have you guys pivoted? It was the year of the pivot. It was the year of the pivot, right? I mean, you had to, if you were selling vodka before, now you're in the hand sanitizer business, a GM selling ventilators or whatever. In comedy, we pivoted. By the way, I loathe that word, but in comedy, we pivoted to do comedy with no audience. We're one of the few industries that pivoted for the worse. It wasn't all bad news, though. At Christmas, I proposed to my girlfriend. I proposed to Jen. We're now, yes, thank you so much. We're engaged. And here's the thing. If there's anybody out there thinking of proposing and you want to make it a surprise, very simple. All you have to do to make it a surprise is drop subtle hints throughout the relationship, right? And then wait 12 and a half years. Unbelievable. Everyone's in shock. I'm a comedian. It was on purpose, the 12 and a half years. It's like 3 is too soon, 6 is perfect, 9, it's never going to happen, 12 and a half, that's hilarious. You know what I mean? And you waited a long time to propose in life, like later in life, when you have to practice getting down on a knee before. You know what I mean? Like you have to stretch, exactly. I'm not so limber anymore, because in your 20s, you don't even have to think about it. You just drop down on one knee, just pow, no problem, just snap. You just drop down on a knee. At 38, I had to do a warm-up set, 12 lunges on each side, just like, can I do this? And I discovered that my left knee hurts. I did not know this until I proposed. So I found my spot, I found my spot in the living room on the area rug, because if I'd have proposed in the kitchen on the hard tile, it would have been rushed, you know what I mean? So I found my spot and I proposed, and I discovered that my left knee hurts. It clicks and pops when I bend it. I didn't even know this. I had no idea. That's the romantic soundtrack to romance in your late 30s. Just click, click, pop. Sweetie, could you do me the honor and help me up? This hurts. My knee hurts, you know what I mean? So it's been a great pandemic. We've been, quarantined, and here we are. Like it's unbelievable when you're forced to live with someone for so long and not leave the house. You know what I mean? You learn things. Like I learned that there's still we get along. Like it was great. The pandemic has been pretty good. I discovered that there's still magic left in our relationship. It's just a different level of magic. You know what I mean? Like I would describe it as like we still have magic in our relationship, but it's not exactly David Blaine. It's more like, hey, you got your nose. You know what I mean? That's a level of magic where in our relationship, Hey, I cut my finger. Hey, oh, magic. Hey. See what I'm doing here? Anyway. I'll bring out Maria here, but there's still magic in our relationship, but the one and only pickup line around the house these days is, did you shower today? That's where we're at, you know what I mean? Anyway, I am thrilled to be here, and we're getting through it, and we're going to have a nice, amazing night. Are you guys ready to kick this off? What do you guys think? Are we excited? As I said, we have 2 of Canada's best singer-songwriters here to perform. They'll tell you stories through song, and you're in for a fantastic evening. And each of our performers tonight were commissioned an original works for tonight on homelessness. So they're going to perform that for you tonight. As I mentioned, it's a world-exclusive premiere right here, live and direct in these walls. Now, the thing, too, hosting this event, usually hosting is really easy because I often host events with a bunch of nobodies, which is very easy to bring them up. But tonight, they're phenomenally accomplished, so I'm actually going to have to read a little bit. So forgive me, but I want to do it justice. I tried to memorize each of their bios, and it was like memorize it. It's an insane amount. So, kicking off the evening tonight, we have all the way from Edmonton. We have Marie Dunn, and she's a twice Juno-nominated songwriter who draws deeply on the folk traditions of storytelling through song. Meddling North America roots music with her Scottish-Irish heritage, her new album, Joyful Banner Blazing in 2021, celebrates resilience, grace, gratitude, solidarity, joy, and love that fires our actions to make the world a better place. Her previous recordings, Gatherings, was a 2017 Juno Award nominee, and highlights positive stories of courage and activisms in both global and local. Her 2012 Peace by Peace was a 2013 Canadian Folk Music Award nominee, and pays tributes to immigrant women working and at Canadian clothing factories. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're excited as I am. Please put your hands together for the one, the only, Marie Dunn, everybody. Marie Dunn!
I would have to do lunges myself if I was going to propose to anyone. This song is inspired by grandmothers all around the world and women's work songs. Old woman, don't you know, your thoughts should ramble. Old woman, don't you know, your voice should tremble. Just wait until they see you dancing in the street. Just wait until they hear you singing to your heartbeat. When the grandmothers meet, when the grandmothers meet. Oh, be in that number when the grandmothers meet. In 1882 on Skye the Laird's men came to shift the crofters once again their bloody aim. Armed with only songs, their birthright and their sticks, the women of the Braes barred police from their midst. When the grandmothers sing, when the grandmothers sing, will you add your voice when the grandmothers sing? Hee-dee-oh-ho-da-bo, hee-dee-oh-ho-da-bo, hee-dee-oh-ho-da-hoo-oh. Hee-dee-oh-ho-da-bo, hee-dee-oh-da-bo, hee-dee-oh-ho-da-hoo-oh. In another Caledonia, grandmothers stand. Once more they are defending native land. A peaceful occupation to remind those who forgot. 6 nations never sold it, it should never have been bought. When the grandmothers speak, when the grandmothers speak, will your heart be open when the grandmothers speak? Hee-dee-oh-ho-da-bo, hee-dee-oh-da-bo, their grandchildren mourn, family in tatters, village fabric torn. They've already labored years to till and to sow. Now they're holding up the sky over death's relentless toll. When the grandmothers dance, when the grandmothers dance, will you move in time when the grandmothers dance? Under Haiti's feet, too many hearts crushed in dust and concrete, while the news chews its violence too rapidly to hear the sound of women singing to drive away the fear. When the grandmothers sing, when the grandmothers sing, will you add your voice when the grandmothers sing? Hee-dee-oh-ho-da-bo, hee-dee-oh-da-bo, hee-dee-oh-ho-da-hoo-oh. Hee-dee-oh horo-hua. Hee-dee-o, horo-vo, hee-dee-o, horo-vo, hee-dee-o, horo-hua. Thank you. I'm not sure if you're allowed to sing along or not. So normally I would have spent 10 minutes at least teaching you that Scottish Gaelic vocable chorus. This has been part of one of the new things of the pandemic. I'm just not sure if I'm allowed, if it's safe. Singing has become the most dangerous thing, which, of course, Pete Seeger could have told us as well. So wonderful to be here in Chelsea, and traveled all the way from Edmonton, Amiskwitsi-Waskayakan in the Nihio language, and very grateful to be here with you this evening as part of Writers Fête. Renee Peavy was a young worker at the Gaynors meatpacking plant in northeast Edmonton in 1986, and she and her fellow workers had taken rollbacks 2 years earlier when the company owner pleaded with them to help him turn the company around. And so 2 years later, he promised to share the profits if they did help him do that. And 2 years later, they had tripled production on the meat packing line and expected to be negotiated with in good faith. And instead, they saw advertisements in the newspaper for replacement workers. Starting the Gaynors strike that lasted for more than 6 months, going from June into December of 1986. And the strike reverberated across the country, across Alberta and across the country with boycotts in solidarity with the workers in northeast Edmonton. Renee shared with historian Catherine Cole and videographer Don Bozek, who's originally from Ottawa. I've done several projects with them, and Renee sat down with them and shared what it felt like to be a young worker on the picket line that very first day. It's a bright June morning, a beautiful day, and though it turned so ugly, I'll remember it that way till those buses start in like they'll never stop, coming for to carry some poor fool to my job. Then like a seamless dance where the partners glide o'er the graceful flow of stream and tide, we all moved so instinctively from the deepest well of our dignity, heart in throat, heart in hand, sitting arm in arm. You can see here I am, I look so young, but I am strong, not scared. With my sisters, my brothers, I'm there. Do you think so little of me? Do you think of me at all as we slow your bus to a crawl, as your boss tries to bring us to our knees as the window smashes? Do you think of me? How I work hard, I'm good at my job. We saved this company, and all for what? To be sneered at, sold out, undermined. Do you think of me when you cross the line? Heart in throat, heart in hand, sitting arm in arm. You can see here I am, I look so young, but I am strong, not scared. With my sisters, my brothers, I'm there. They try to take us all away, but like pebbles on a beach, we shift and remain. You can grind your heel down into the sand, but your mark disappears when the next wave lands. Oh, heart in hand, our bodies on the line, we who never took a handout in our lives. Now the goodwill and the money pours in. It makes me weep, such a simple thing. Heart in throat, heart in hand, sitting arm in arm. You can see here I am. I look so young, but I am calm, not scared. With my sisters, my brothers, I'm there. Heart in throat, heart in hand. With my sisters, my brothers, I'm there. With my sisters, my brothers, I'm there. That's for anyone who's ever been on a picket line. And that is a song that's on I think of it as my brand new album. Being a folk musician, I'll think of it as my brand new album for about another 3 years. But released January 29th of 2021, so released electronically, digitally, and by mail order. No live concert during the pandemic. So it's been wonderfully supported by the folk music community and DJs all across the country, and I'm very grateful to them and to all of you who've ordered it by mail order. And my website is mariadunn.com. And we also have CDs here tonight. There's a flying nun on the cover, and I can explain that to you if you want to come and buy one. But tonight, speaking of new, this is the brand new commission, which normally I take a long time to tinker and mull over and gestate a song. When Peter, thanks so much to Peter for inviting me to be part of this. Yes, Peter Gillies, and all the volunteers and all the staff, everyone making this beautiful festival happen. This is my first ever Writers Festival. Played a lot of music festivals. So I have written song commissions in the past, but I tend to take longer, and I usually, we'll speak more about this during the panel, but I dive in and I immerse myself and go for lots of walks and mull over things and turn over things in my head. So I'm going to give it my best shot here. The only people that have heard this are my mom and my dad and my dad's partner, Bonnie, and they've been very supportive, so I hope that you will be too. When I chose this subject, it seemed obvious to me. I realized I have more songs to write about this, but the crisis certainly in the city of Edmonton, and I know across our country, caused by a lack of affordable housing and governments not building as much affordable housing or funding for that, I think is a big issue. There's all kinds of complex things, and I got lost in all of the statistics and everything that people are thinking about. But so it seems so very complicated in some ways, and yet in other ways very simple, that people deserve the right to housing. It's a human right. And I see far too many people on my daily walks. I love the River Valley in Edmonton. I live fairly centrally. I see far too many people who are tenting, they're finding that way to be housed. And we had some amazing solidarity movements, peace camps last summer with people who are unhoused. Houseless is the term that lots of advocates are using now, certainly in Edmonton, where people were coming together in one area and setting up their tents in their peace camp so that they could share some community and some ceremony. One of the camps was Indigenous-led, and also protect those people from their tents being slashed, sometimes pepper sprayed. But that's a whole other song that I'm also writing. The one, I'm getting very sidetracked here, which just shows that, I'm buying myself time. I also was thinking about all of those amazing people who are the street teams that go out and they meet and they speak with these people who are unhoused, and they try and find out how they can help them get housed. Even though even with all of that, we don't have enough places for people to go in Edmonton. It is a crisis. But those people on the street teams, whether it's Boyle Street, which is 50 years now serving the community in inner city in Edmonton, or Bear Clan Patrol, we have an Edmonton chapter, Bear Hills, the various community agencies that are doing such important work, and those people on the front lines. Boyle Street, 50 years old now, the location they've been in for about 25 years now, they've been joined by a shiny new hockey arena just across the road. And so, I'm not much of a hockey aficionado, but I do absolutely love that expression, leave it all on the ice, where you give more than 110%. You give your absolute best, and that's what we as a country, what we as communities need to do, and what these people on the front lines are showing us how to do. So, if you're allowed to sing along, if you feel comfortable singing along, I'll invite you to join in on the chorus. But, this is called Leave It All on the Ice. There's a team on the ice every Saturday night, and they've stolen my heart as an underdog might. 200%, they strive for the goal. Leave it all on the ice, bring everyone home. And you know who's on the starting line? Unassuming champions, gentle giants who challenge the callous, vanquish the dark. See each soul out here for who they are and bring them home. Bring them home. Leave it all on the ice. We need everyone. Bring them home. Bring them home. Leave it all on the ice. Bring everyone home. That's your part. Bring them home. Bring them home. Leave it all on the ice. We need everyone. Bring them home. Bring them home. Leave it all on the ice. Bring everyone home. Thank you. When the winter wind tears at your fingers in spite, their reflective vests catch the night. Open arms on the avenue. Lift us all with the work they do. No one judged, no one ignored. Harm reduction, a hot meal, a kind word. Still it makes them mad, they can't do more. When the safety net's been deliberately torn, bring them home, bring them home. Leave it all on the ice, we need everyone. Bring them home, bring them home. Leave it all on the ice, bring everyone home. They pick up the people society drops onto shelters, charities, hospitals, cops, stick handling trouble with grace and grit, showing each person you're worth it. No matter what has happened to you, no matter what you're struggling through, you deserve a decent place to live. Without housing first, where can healing begin? Bring them home, bring them home. This team's not riled when the going's tough, but of government stalling they've had enough. They'll drop the gloves at greed and disdain that targets the poor. Again and again, you don't know what trauma someone survived to be out here fighting for life. To see that person bullied along when they've no place to go is twisted and wrong. Bring them home, bring them home. Leave it all on the ice, we need everyone. Bring them home, bring them home. Leave it all on the ice, bring everyone home. Bring them home, bring them home. Leave it all on the ice, we need everyone. Bring them home, bring them home. Leave it all on the ice, bring everyone home. Leave it all on the ice, bring everyone home. Leave it all on the ice, bring everyone home. Thank you so much. They call me troublemaker, 'cause I'm finally saying no. I've been working hard and yeah, my pay is still so low. But when I spoke my mind, they said, troublemaker's gotta go. Troublemaker, that's your part. Troublemaker, they call me a greedy worker, 'cause I want my rollback back. And my employer's time of need, I tried to help them get on track. Now I ask to share in the profits, they say, troublemaker's gotta go. Troublemaker, troublemaker, they call me troublemaker, 'cause I want the same as you. They're afraid I love someone I'm not supposed to. And when we seek the right to marry, they say, troublemaker's gotta go. Troublemaker, 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 troublemaker. They call me scaremonger, 'cause I won't agree. Someone making profits from the healthcare that we need. And when I ask who's making the money, they say, troublemaker's gotta go. Troublemaker, troublemaker. They call me troublemaker, 'cause I'm gonna demonstrate. I make sure treaty rights don't take a backseat to world trade. But as I block their pipeline, they say, troublemaker's gotta go. Troublemaker, let's hear ya. Troublemaker, troublemaker, troublemaker. They call me an idealist, 'cause I wanna close the gap. The poor are getting poorer in our country's ample lap. So next time I cast my vote, I'll say, troublemaker's gotta go. Troublemaker, 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 troublemaker. Thank you so much. Like a true professional, I left all my water on the ice. So I don't know if there's anyone back there who would be willing to curry me out a bottle of water. Thank you so much. A glass is perfect, even better, even better. Thank you so much. Thank you for all your work making this festival happen. All right. All watered up. Thank you, Julien. Did you have to stretch before that? I too phone my cell phone with stupid ideas. In my next life, perhaps I'll be brave enough. I've had the great honor of this next song being used by HomeFest, which the Edmonton Coalition on Housing and Homelessness had for about 10 years to raise money and awareness and have music around that issue in Edmonton, and they invited me to have this song as the finale. I'm a little girl, don't take up much space, but I'm trying to figure out my place. I go this way, that way, I make a mess, seeking out the world with a child's finesse. And I'm a teenage boy on the awkward side, and you hurt my heart. Never mind my pride when you bully me for who I am. I'm just finding my way to the promised man. Take it easy on me. Take it easy on me. And I'm a grown woman, my eyes sore, watching love smash to the floor. The biggest shards I've swept aside, but dust remains to break my stride. And I'm a broken man inside my head, and I can't remember what you said. And words to me slip from my grasp, so I mumble just to fill the gap. Take it easy on me. Take it easy on me. I can't find a home, I don't own a car, but you gotta eat no matter who you are. And dirt pours, not the same as dirt. I'm trying to make this living work, and I've come from very far away, and I hope to find a better day. But your tongue trips my tongue flat. I miss my home, but I can't go back. Take it easy on me. Take it easy on me. I take it easy on me, I say to the fool whose face I see in the rippled pool. It took so long recognizing myself, I dropped the prize I once held. Take it easy on me. Take it easy on me. Take it easy on me. Mm-hmm. Take it easy on me. And I'm just relieved that I wrote that long before Adele released her new single. So I won't be sued, hopefully. And thank you so much. The absolutely fabulous Lynn Miles is coming up next with her amazing songwriting and voice and musicianship. In thinking about songs that talk about social issues, very much thinking about the women and girls in Afghanistan and all of the people in Afghanistan who had worked so hard for a more equitable society. Inspired by Malala Yousafzai, and her tremendous work and courage. So, again, if you feel comfortable singing along, please join me. Malala, where are you going? I'll walk beside you, I'll meet you there. Malala, where are you going? I'll walk beside you, I'll meet you there. Born to a faithful family, her father saw it in her face. Bold and bright, engaged, alive, meant to take a rightful place. Like her brother, she loves learning. Like him, she's stubborn too. When the Taliban forbids it, secretly she slips to school. Malala, where are you going? I'll walk beside you, I'll meet you there. Malala, where are you going? I'll walk beside you, I'll meet you there. Now a veil of fear descends dark upon the quiet land, twisting words of peace and love to violence and harsh commands. Some will not succumb in silence, some will not give up their rights. Against the shrinking walls around her, with her voice and pen she strikes. Malala, where are you going? I'll walk beside you, I'll meet you there. Malala, where are you going? I'll walk beside you, I'll meet you there. Riding home from class with friends, a young man boards her bus and shakes. Who is Malala, he demands, and shoots at point blank range. The hand of God, the hands of surgeons, fervent prayer round the world. So disarm this act of hate and fire the will of every girl. Malala, where are you going? I'll walk beside you, I'll meet you there. Malala, where are you going? I'll walk beside you, I'll meet you there. Malala, where are you going? I'll walk beside you, I'll meet you there. Malala, where are you going? I'll walk beside you, I'll meet you there. Thanks so much for singing.
Fantastic. Marie Dunn, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Want to do one more? Want one more? Can you do one more? Marie Dunn, ladies and gentlemen, one more.
Since I'm at a writers' festival, I'll invoke Charles Dickens, A Christmas Carol, and Tiny Tim Cratchit, who I played for 20 years on the stages of Edmonton's songwriter production called A Christmas Carol. I was, and still am, the most vertically efficient member of that cast. So the chorus is, God bless us, everyone. with the riches of the soul, and may hopelessness ne'er be the demon darkening our door. And the melody goes, God bless us everyone with the riches of the soul, and may hopelessness ne'er be the demon darkening our door. When the world is feeling cold, and the sky more gray than blue, and the snow seems to fall heavy-heartedly on you, time to count your blessings, though seemingly but few. Time to take a look at what's within and without you. For health is more than walking, and wealth much more than gold, but kindness overwhelming as a gentle hand to hold. God bless us everyone with the riches of the soul, and may hopelessness ne'er be the demon darkening our door. When the world is feeling cold, and the sky more gray than blue, and the snow seems to fall heavy-heartedly on you, remember when you see us, the hungry, lame, the meek, who would feed us, heal us, keep us, is the same one that you seek. For joy is more than dancing, good cheer much more than wine, but love is all enfolding as beholding hearts entwined. God bless us everyone with the riches of the soul, and may hopelessness ne'er be the demon darkening our door. When the world is feeling cold, and the sky more gray than blue, and the snow seems to lie heavy-heartedly on you, to the counting house of blessings may we often chance to stray, and in company together spend many's the night and day. And God bless us everyone with the riches of the soul, and may hopelessness ne'er be the demon darkening our door. Yes, God bless us everyone with the riches of the soul, and may hopelessness ne'er be the demon darkening our door. And may hopelessness ne'er be the demon darkening our door. And may hopelessness ne'er be the demon darkening our door.
Ladies and gentlemen, Maria Dunn. Maria Dunn, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful singing on your part. Well done. Give yourselves a round of applause on that. That was great. You guys feel privileged for a world premiere, world exclusive tonight? That was one of two, right? A lot of singing. That was beautiful. By the way, I've never panicked so much as when she asked for water from the stage. I guess I was a little late on that, but hey, welcome back. Yes, you can come on out and set up. You guys having a good time so far? This is an amazing evening of creativity, and I'm again thrilled to be a part of it. And we're going to keep this moving right along. And as I mentioned, After our next artist, we're going to take a short intermission, and then we'll be back for a Q&A. So if you have questions that you want answers to, start thinking of them and throw them our way before, I'll cue you. You'll know when. So yeah, here we are. All of us together in this room. Stretch. Yeah, do you need a glass of water? Because I can be late on that too. And the thing with the glass of water too, Maria asked for water right away, so I'm like, oh, right away we're backstage, and there's all these bottles, and I go to grab one, and Lynn's like, no, that's sparkling, don't do that. I'm like, I didn't know this was a thing, all right? So I'm in the bathroom grabbing, yeah, I know. How could I be so stupid? I didn't realize. So I was in the bathroom getting flat water, and turns out I was a little late, but are you hydrated? Do you need water? I'll be on it. I'll work on that, don't worry. I know. You're right, it is. All right, let's keep this moving right along with our next guest. I'm thrilled to introduce her. And as I mentioned off the top, I'm going to read a little bit from her bio, only because I don't want to disrespect or not do justice. Because, yeah, can you give me a little background? Can you give me a little background? Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's nice. One of Canada's most accomplished singer-songwriters, ladies and gentlemen, with 15 solo albums to her credit. Her latest, We'll Look for Stars, hit #1 on the Euro Americana charts for August in 2020 and earned 5-star reviews across Europe and North America. She was the winner of a 2002 Juno Award for Roots and Traditional Solo Album of the Year and racked up 2. Is that fast or is that me? Am I the one? Am I the one that can't keep up? I guess. She's received multiple Juno nominations of the same categories in 2006 and 2011. She's won multiple Canadian Folk Music Awards, including Solo Artist of the Year for her CD Downpour and 2011 English Songwriter of the Year, and has been nominated for Artist of the Year in 2021 at the Canadian Folk Music Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big Wakefield Writers Fête welcome to the one, the only, Lynn Miles, everybody. Lynn!
That's nice. I would take a little bit more guitar if you got it there, Greg. Thank you. Oh, it's so nice to be in front of human beings, especially really, really good-looking ones like yourselves. Kind of start with this song. This is a song called More. It's about wanting more beautiful experiences like the one I hope we're going to have, that you've had, and I hope you will continue.
The sky's not blue, it's indigo. That's not a tree, it's a willow. I'm not quiet, I'm deep. I don't cry, I weep. I want the whole bottle, not just a shot. I don't want a little, I want a lot. I don't want rain, I want a downpour. 'Cause I don't want less, I want more. More stars, more sun, more truth, more love, more kisses, more spring, just one more of everything. I don't want the evening, I want midnight.
I wanna fight. Don't show me the outside of your heart. I wanna see the core, 'cause I don't want less, I want more. More stars, more sun, more truth, more love, more kisses, more spring. I just want more of everything. I just want more of everything. Thank you. Thank you. So I was commissioned to write a song, which in the middle of a pandemic is a great gift. And also, because of the pandemic, of course, all this light has been shone on the way so many people have been living and existing, which was always there, but maybe we're seeing more of it. And so I wrote this song for the commission. It's called Sleeping Rough. And I wrote this kind of based on conversations that I've had with a gentleman who lives in my neighborhood who told me his story. I asked him one day, you know, how did you end up here? And because he lives on the street and he sits in front of a grocery store asking for money. And so he told me his story. And so this song is based on that. This is called Sleeping Rough. Never dreamed in a million years my life could get so tough. My name is Kevin Willard, and tonight I'm sleeping rough. Did okay in high school, very kind of young. I love my pretty wife and my beautiful son. We were saving the down payment for a house on a cul-de-sac. Life was going good now, it's all a dream looking back. I was working on construction, that's when it all went down. A steel pipe hit my head and I crumbled to the ground. I woke up in the hospital with a steady driving pain, a ringing in my ears and a pounding in my brain. I took the pills they gave me to take the pain away. That was 7 years ago. I was up to 25 a day. Out of work and angry, wife took the boy and left town. Wish we'd had a safety net when it all came crashing down. Surf couches for a while, but my friend said that I'd changed. So I closed that door, there was no point in trying to explain. My first night on the street, a couple guys stole my ID. My boots, my cash, my phone, my hope, almost all my dignity. Some put money in the cup, but they don't look me in the eye. They don't think their comfy world can turn to darkness on a dime. But I know bad luck and lightning can strike anywhere, anytime. Now I'm living under the overpass. It's turning cold today, but it's better than the shelter. That's all I'm gonna say. If I had a quiet room, I could rest my broken mind. In this world with all its riches, poverty's the biggest crime. I never dreamed in a million years my life could get so tough. My name is Kevin Willard, and tonight I'm sleeping around. So, of course, I couldn't do one song, I had to do two. Because I'm obsessive compulsive. There's so much to write about, and oh my gosh, so I started writing this one because I remember back in the 80s when I was dating an economist, and he quit doing economics because he didn't like the Friedman School of Economics, which was based on the whole idea of trickle-down economy, where the rich people are supposed to let everything, all their wealth drip down to the poor people, which of course never happened, and that's why you got Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher. And so I've been thinking about that for a long time, and how we're seeing the results of that after 30 years, 40 years. So I wrote this song. It's a cheery little number. It's called 1,000 Times Deeper. Seems like everybody's drinking Chardonnay, shopping at Costco almost every day, luxury condos growing like weed. The heart of a city is a study in greed. Marble and glass scraping the sky, people sleeping on sidewalks, others walking by. I'll never own a house, don't have $1 million, lots of lottery tickets, still no luck. All the rich are getting richer like they always do. Wealthy politicians pretend to care about you, make promises until they win the night. Then it's the status quo, out of mind and out of sight. They'll inherit their fortune from their family estate. They'll never have to worry that the bills are late. They'll never wait for an hour for a bus in the snow, with their groceries and their laundry and their kids in tow. When you're born into this world, it's all a crapshoot. Right time, right place, you get all the loot. If you're poor, the climb is 1,000 times steeper, 'cause the hole you're digging out of is 1,000 times deeper. I'm living in a basement in cold cement, 3 part-time jobs, I can't afford the rent. If I get sick, that's all she wrote. Take care of it myself, I won't leave a note. Where do you go when there's nowhere to go? What do you do when there's nothing you can do? Go ahead and look away, never learn my name, but underneath it all, we're all the same. Everybody's got pain, everybody's got a story. Some are living in heaven, some in purgatory. Some people never have a chance to find their way. When the profit margin is the order of the day, that trickle-down economy never trickled down any thing on me except worry and depression and minimum wage, anxiety and fear and a bubbling rage. When they're born into this world, it's all a crapshoot. Right time, right place, you get all the loot. If you're poor, the climb is 100 times steeper, 'cause the hole you're digging out of is 1,000 times deeper. Okay, so I'm not a very good business person, so I put out an album during a pandemic. Just want to put that out there. I do have some CDs for sale in the back. Anybody who wants to get one? Anyway, my CD is called We'll Look for Stars, and this is the title track. We will wax and wane just like the moon, and in the end will come too soon. The stories we keep in our souls are wild and true and sad and gold. Our songs will rise and fall and change their tunes. We will move just like the wind and tide. Our little boat will rock from side to side. Regrets will make their presence known, make us feel so all alone, and leave us with nowhere to put our pride. So the only thing that I can do is try not to fall apart on you, and hold on to your heart with all my might. We'll stop before we go too far, and when it's dark we'll look for stars to guide us home, get us through the night. Will be, that's all I know. We're at the mercy of the undertow. Time will leave a scar for sure. Love will fade, there is no cure, and every blue will change to indigo. So the only thing that I can do is try not to fall apart on you, and hold on to your heart with all my might. We'll stop before we go too far, and when it's dark we'll look for stars to guide us home, get us through the night. So the only thing that I can do is try not to fall apart on you and hold on to your heart with all my might. We'll stop before we go too far, and when it's dark we'll look for stars to guide us home, get us through the night. We'll stop before we go too far, and when it's dark we'll look for stars to guide us home and get us through the night. How are things? Heck yeah. This is a song. This is probably the darkest song I ever wrote. So warning. I know. It's been quite an evening, hasn't it? I used to live on Murray Street in the market back in the 80s. The 1880s, which at the time was where a lot of sex workers plied their trade, and I would see these women out. It would be 20 below, and I just think, what? Okay, so I wrote the song. It's called "High Heels in the Snow." Her daddy was a drunk, big and sad and mean. Her mother died 4 years back. She was a local beauty queen. So Sandy came down from Thunder Bay just 2 years ago. She's always high as a kite and low as the moon in her high heels in the snow. She's as tough as nails and her heart is numb. Most days she feels nothing at all. She's been thinking at home 'cause it's Christmas time, but she could not make the call. So it's another night and another trick. You sell your body and they steal your soul. When you're 16 years old and you're out on the streets in your high heels in the snow. All the shoppers put their bags in cars, but they don't hang around. They drive off to Christmas parties in a better part of town. And the office ladies from down the block file out and wave as they go, laughing at each other as they slip and they slide in their high heels in the snow. It's been 1,000 tough nights and 100 tough fights, just trying to survive. Her best friend went missing. Nobody cares if she's dead or alive, 'cause a hooker's life means nothing. Lots of people will tell you so. Now she's out in the dark all by herself in her high heels in the snow. Not a lot of second chances when you take the wrong turn. Out on those angry streets, it's a hard lesson learned. When you hate yourself and you hate the world, you think there's nowhere else to go. You can't run from danger in high heels in the snow. So Sandy is not walking now, but soon she'll be going home. She's lying still in the frozen ground, cold and all alone. They bound her body face down just 2 hours ago. Somebody said she looked like a frozen doll in her high heels in the snow. And the radio says it's gonna turn cold. It's going down to 20 below. But there'll be somebody taking her place tonight, in high heels in the snow. There will be somebody's mother, somebody's sister, somebody's lover, somebody's friend. There will be somebody taking her place tonight, in high heels in the snow. So a couple years ago, CRA started hounding me because I'm an artist and I don't have any power and I can't afford a lawyer. And they're still hounding me. So I'm actually thinking about declaring bankruptcy, so they'll just leave me alone because I don't have anything to give them, especially after not working for 17 months. But anyway, the first time when I was dealing with them, they said, the first question they asked me was, do you have any offshore real estate holdings? I kid you not, that was the first thing they said. And then they said, okay, I said, well, no. And then they said, do you have any offshore bank accounts? I said, no. I said, you know what I do for a living, right? No. So I just got inspired to write this song because it was at the time of the Panama Papers. And the fact that there are all these offshore rich people putting their money offshore, and, CRA's hounding me for, $8,000 or whatever it was at the time. It's gone up because of the fines, of course. I wrote this song because I was pissed off. I'm still pissed off. And now the Pandora Papers have come out, and they had nothing's been done since then to now. So there's all your money. But anyway, okay. I'm glad I got that off my chest and it's going out into the world. That's great. Why does everything have to be filmed? Okay. So this is called Main Street. I'm going to tune only because it's being filmed. I'll tell again. This town used to have a sweet old soul. Now every street has a new pothole. There's record-breaking profits at the big box stores. Main Street ain't Main Street anymore. Over there's where we used to spend our time. Now it looks like the scene of a crime. That boarded up building was the mom and pop store. And Main Street ain't Main Street anymore. And the future sewn up by sweatshop slaves work their fingers to the bone and their bodies to the grave. Well, the rich get richer 'cause their money's offshore. Main Street ain't Main Street anymore. No, Main Street ain't Main Street anymore. Ran a storage space for the stuff you never use. Your exercise bikes, your $20 shoes. Well, a homeless woman sleeps just outside the front door. Main Street ain't Main Street anymore. There's no free lunch, there's no free trade. We're getting asleep on the beds that we made. There's big money in sickness, disaster, and war. Main Street ain't Main Street anymore. No, Main Street ain't Main Street anymore. Waste your time, waste your life, your money and your food. Everybody's in a hurry, everybody's in a mood. The ditch is getting deeper between the rich and the poor. Main Street ain't Main Street anymore. And the winners keep winning, the losers just bleed. The glory days are over, the bottom line is greed. You think it's dark now, we're drilling down to the core. And Main Street ain't Main Street anymore. No, Main Street ain't Main Street anymore. Thank you, Wakefield Writers Festival. Thank you so much. It's been lovely singing for you.
If you make more noise, she might come back out. You want to come back out? You want to do another one? Would also like to bring out... I'll let you introduce. Okay.
He's nice. I like that he dressed up. Thank you for dressing up. Here's Marie Dunn again. Oh yeah, okay. 1 second, be with you in 1 second. So, when the Syrian refugee crisis was, after it had sort of started and we weren't paying attention, and then there was the story of the boy on the beach. His name was Alan Kurdi. He inspired this song. It got me attached to the struggle, and I wrote this song and I put it out to the universe, and any kind of money that comes in, people buying it for $1, it goes towards causes of refugees. This is called What If You Were a Refugee? You can't really talk about homelessness without talking about refugees. There are more of them now than there have ever been, which is a sad statement on humanity. Just gonna do this. How are you feeling, Maria?
I'm feeling fabulous. That was a beautiful set, Lynn.
Thanks,
Thank you so
Maria.
much. Lynn Miles.
Thank you. I love what Maria writes about, and I love the fact that she walks the walk and she talks the talk. She walks the walk. She lives her.
The CRA is not after me, though.
Well, maybe after tonight they'll be chasing you. Just hang around with me, they'll come after you. It's easy to feel sorry, feel sympathy for their pain, but it's easy to carry on if you don't know their name. It's easy to do nothing, easy to ignore. You can turn off the TV when it's someone else's war. Well, what if it was your neighbor living desperately? Oh, what if it was your mother walking to be free? What if it was your baby drowning in the sea? What if you were a refugee? Well, it's a fine line between have and have not. Your life can change in a heartbeat. It doesn't take a lot. A politician lies, or a bullet leaves a gun. The whole place blows up. Drop everything and run. Well, what if it was your neighbor living desperately. Oh, what if it was your mother walking to be free? What if it was your baby drowning in the sea? What if you were a refugee? Don't take your bed for granted, your water or your food, your money or your life, 'cause the world is in a mood. By foot or by boat, by truck or by train, you'd be hungry for compassion at a border in the rain. Well, whatever was your neighbor, living desperately. Oh, what if it was your mother walking to be free? Oh, what if it was your baby drowning in the sea? What if you were a refugee? What if you were a refugee? I think we're taking a little break now. I'm going to get him back and we talk about stuff. Thank you so much, everybody. What a pleasure. We'll see you very soon.
Lynn Miles and Marie Dunn, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. Oh my goodness. Wow. You know what's crazy? That was not planned, by the way. That was not planned. I heard them talk backstage. Lynn said, I'm going to do a thing. Can you accompany me? It's in the key of C. And Maria said, yep. And they just did that. Yeah. A lot of world premiere exclusives here tonight in Chelsea. I hope you're excited. And by the way, this is not over yet. We're going to take a quick intermish, a 10-minute intermish. No longer, not 11, not 9, 10 minutes. So do your thing. Then we're going to come back, and we're going to have a Q&A with Lynn Miles and Maria Dunn and myself. So we'll be back in 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy. Thank you very much. We're still live and direct, ladies and gentlemen. This is all show all the time. Are we excited? How are we feeling? By the way, this venue is impeccable. How many people first time in this venue? Renovated? A bunch of people. I love how you raised your hand. That's a very polite student way of yours. I like that. Very polite, yes. I like that very much. All right. Well, this is time now for the Q&A. So if you have any questions, you'll have your chance to throw them out. So now I would like to reintroduce Lynn Miles and Maria Dunn, ladies and gentlemen. Come on out. Yes. How are you? Okay. How did that feel, by the way? How did those sets? You guys feel good? Yes, that's a hard day's work, right? Just like that. Thank you so much for being here. This is the NPR version of the show where we sit back and go deep. We're going to go deep. I don't know if you're ready for it.
I have a guacamole recipe I could recite if you want. If that's...
We're going dip?
Is that what we're doing?
We're going dip. Oh. We're going dip. Yes, 3 avocados. I put garlic in my guac, which is weird.
Me too.
I don't.
I do too.
Yeah, good.
It's good.
Well, this is the Writers Festival, so because of that, listen, I could talk to you both forever. By the way, that was, can we give them a round of applause? That was incredible, right? That was such a... And since this is a writers' festival, I thought I would sit down here with you both and learn about the creative process. Because, in fact, we did ask you both about your creative process and got two completely different answers, so which I loved. They couldn't have been more opposite, the answers, in word count.
Oh my God.
It was amazing. And by the way, both commissioned to write an original piece for tonight, and you both did. Wasn't that amazing? Wasn't that incredible? Very profound and powerful. And when asked about your creative process, specifically when it comes to homelessness, here were your answers. Maria answered, first I panic with any sort of deadline or commission. Then I immerse myself in reading, listening, watching interviews, and speaking with people. Amazing. If I end up drawing on a particular person's story, I seek consent, of course. You want to make sure everyone's in on it and no surprises anywhere. You say, Maria, that you pay attention to turns of phrases that leap out and at you to your own emotional reactions and people's experiences, emotions, and voices. Your job is then to try to capture the emotional core of the story, sometimes with narrative points that also need to be covered, but not in too much detail, not as to bog down the song.
I did bog down the email.
Yeah, the email. Yeah, I need a Dropbox to download this. You also
I didn't know you were going to read that.
Yeah. Oh, well, this is an open book. This is where I said we're going deep. No, but I just wanted to show truth. Okay, yes, you're right. You didn't know I was going to read this, but it's just to show the difference between your answers. And you continue. You usually focus on lyrics first, which often suggests the rhythmic feel and the detail, where the melodic shape comes with it afterwards. See, this is all very... I love it. I mean, again, as I mentioned, we're going deep. And then you sing it 1,000,000 times until satisfied with the lyrics and melody work together effectively, and then you're ready to perform for an audience. And we witnessed that tonight, your creative process, Marie Dunn. That was unbelievable. And Lynn Miles, when asked about your process for writing a song on homelessness, you wrote, I meet a homeless person. Yeah, that was it. And I like that. No, I like... Because you both said the same thing, just with different words, and so let's.
I just, in my defense, I was in a bit of a mood, and I'm so tired of screens, and I was just like, for fuck's sake. And then,
But you both in that moment said basically the same thing, which I admire. So let's talk. Let's start with you, Maria. So when you have to write a song like that. You walked us through your process a bit, but how much confidence do you have in your own ability to then deliver this when you're on deadline and you know there's going to be an audience?
Yeah, it's interesting because I have done this before for other occasions, but I've been invited to write for a specific organization, maybe for their anniversary celebration, and this was a topic that I chose. And so I felt it should have been easier in a way. But I think what happened with Alberta heading right into its huge, big fourth wave, I didn't feel like I was able, and we also had 2 elections, a federal election and a municipal election, and some of the people that I wanted to connect with, I knew would be highly involved in what was going on. So I felt like I didn't do actually the community meeting and speaking with people that I wanted to do. So that was the process, ideal process. And I kind of got bogged down and a little bit overwhelmed with the scale of the problem and just also heartbroken at it too. And I didn't have time. I didn't feel that I had time to really do that work. So I want to do that for the next song. I want to reach out to some of those people that I felt I didn't because I wasn't at an emotional place where I felt I could do that. And I'm one of these introverts that loves to, as you can see, write long emails. I researched for hours. I looked at all kinds of stuff, the Homeward Trust, which is the umbrella organization, all the statistics, so many stories I was reading, videos I was watching. I did not do what Lynn did, which is go and meet and speak with a person who's experienced homelessness. So I actually feel like I didn't do the job I wanted to do, frankly.
Yeah, but you did. I mean, it's whether you went through everything that you lined up here, it's still going through it and putting yourself out there and doing the work. And it's also very powerful. You both write about powerful subject matter. And how does that, for example, writing this, Lynn, a song about homelessness, does that take a lot out of you when you tackle such a powerful, kind of deep and sometimes difficult topic?
No.
All right, see? That's also great for email.
I'm going to be that person tonight. Yes.
Yeah. Yes and no.
Just to add to what Maria was saying, I didn't interview the person for this song. I'd had sort of like an ongoing communication with this person over several years, who was in my neighborhood, and each time we would sort of talk, and I sort of drew out the story over several meetings. I'd just talk to him when he was on the street. And so I didn't specifically go and do that. I was carrying that around. And when I was, to write a song like this is very difficult because I like having a metaphor or a symbol, like high heels in the snow, for example. It's something visual. You can sort of latch onto it. You can revisit it every time. But homelessness is such a huge word. Mm-hmm. And so I kept looking for a symbol. It was which I don't think I found. So the story song for me was kind of the way to do it, because I couldn't find this sort of like evocative, just symbol of homelessness. And the home, of course, a house is a symbol. They're out there, but I just couldn't land on one, so I wrote the story song.
Yeah, but how does that differ from writing a regular, like if you're just writing a song out of thin air, where a lot of musicians say just comes to them, you're kind of a conduit to it. How do you then channel that to write about something specific versus just waiting for it to kind of come to you? Do you know what I mean?
That's why I panic.
Yeah, that's the panic part. Yeah, because what you do, and you delivered, both of you, immensely, which is what is most mind-boggling.
I think if you approach it with joy and you tell yourself that you're fortunate enough to be a writer and that you get to write something, rather than thinking, oh God, now I have to write something. Like, I love to write, and so when I was asked to do this, I was like, oh my God, I get to write something. And I didn't have to come up with the subject. Somebody else came up with it, which to me is the hardest part of songwriting. Because if you write enough songs, you kind of know how to do it, how the pieces work. But it's the ideas that are those are the lightning strikes where you go, okay, oh, that's a cool idea. But to get those, I find that the hardest thing. So when somebody says, please write about this, I'm like, okay. And I will dig and dig and dig and dig and dig. And I'll go every single day for hours every day. And I'll research. I'll go on Wikipedia and I'll read books. And I did bring a book that I was looking at. I found this at Sunnyside Books. It's called The Melancholia of Class. It's by Cynthia Cruz, and it's so fascinating. It was so inspiring. And I also read, I just wanted to mention one more book. Kristen Hanna wrote a book called The Four Winds, and it's about the Dust Bowl. It was so beautifully written and inspiring, and it helped me get through the process. Sorry, I'm talking a lot. I'm very chatty. I haven't been around people for a while.
That's what we want. We want chatty.
Okay.
Maria, do you have anything to add to that?
What was the question?
Just your overall creative process, and as far as like it takes, like how do you, if someone gives you something to write about, rather than waiting for inspiration, how do you channel kind of your skill set and your ability to then pull it out and produce a song that...
I dive in. I dive into, whether it's internet, I watched a lot of videos. I listened to some audio tapes that someone who had interviewed people who had used Boyle Street Community Services. I very much was looking at the current situation. So I actually made a timeline. I made a timeline of what was happening with COVID last year and when all of the individual community services spread out across Edmonton because of COVID had to shut and start an operation at the Expo Center to serve people and the other temporary shelters that started. So I really dove deep in my nerdy research assistant self from many years ago, and I made a timeline of, and who was making the decisions? Was it the city? Was it the province? What was going on? Why did this Indigenous-led camp at Camp Pickawewin in Edmonton start? Who started it? What were their demands that they were asking the city to provide? I never went down there myself, but I followed that story all last summer. And I feel like I got too much information, and then that's what overwhelmed me. So then I just had to start going for walks. And, I go for walks all the time. That's where things start to spin. And it was that idea, I saw... When I think about this specific song I played for you tonight, because I think there's probably going to be another 3 that come out of this at least, I was thinking I saw a person who had been a client with Boyle Street Community Services, had taken a beautiful photo of the sunset west of Boyle Street and made a comment in their notes about how the new stadium was right there. And I remember thinking that as well. We've seen the changes downtown, so you have this huge contrast between shiny new stadium and people who need the Boyle Street Community Services right there. And that's when I sort of thought, wouldn't this be amazing if we valued those teams on the street, on the front lines? Wouldn't that be amazing if we honored and valued those teams as much as we do the teams in the shiny big arena?
Yeah. You mentioned the pandemic and COVID, and they say to create, you need to fill the well and live your life. And how have you both, we'll throw this question to both of you, how have you found the last 18, 20 months, how have you found it to fill the well, to create? How have you created when we've all had a limited experience where we've all sort of experienced more or less the same kind of reality over the last 18 to 20 months? How do you dig deep and because you've both released albums in the last since 2020, both of you. So what do you draw upon in times like this?
So the 2020 album was already written before this.
Right.
And,
there we go. We're seeing a little behind the scenes here. Okay.
And so I'm working on my 16th and 17th album right now, But what I wanted to do was, I wanted to do kind of a bluegrassy record, and I had these songs lying around. So I had a lot of time on my hands. I slept for the first several months. I ate a lot, watched a lot of Netflix, and realized how intense it is to tour for a living and how exhausting it is. And finally had food in my fridge for the first time in my life, actually, my grown-up life. And so I sort of was like, this isn't so bad, I guess. And I was alone, which I prefer, and so I played a lot of piano, and I rested. And I know I've talked to a lot of musicians, and we all say the same thing. We're sort of shocked at how relaxing life is when you're not touring all the time, and how tired you were, and how much you did, not realizing how much you were doing. And so I think for a lot of us, we're going to think about that in the future when we start saying yes to everything. And I think it's going to change a lot of people who work and commute and all that. I think there's a lot of, that's changing everybody. So that was interesting. But then I started going through, I have stacks of books. I have about 900 songs. I always say about 900. So I started going through them. And that's what I did for creativity. I started going through them, see if there was anything there that I could keep writing. Because I always think that if you write a song 30 years ago, it's your, you're trying to say something and maybe you're not ready yet to say it. So you always hold on to everything. And then if you read it 30 years later, it might be you might complete the song. So I think you should hold on to everything when you write. And so I did that, and I looked through some songs, and so I'm putting out this record with some of those songs on it.
That's interesting you say that, like, right, because you'll write something years ago, and maybe because your taste might match that, but your skill set might not be lined up with being able to pull off exactly the way you want it to come across. And then
but I also think like you have themes in your life. You have lessons that you have to learn over again, and or just themes. Everyone has a sort of. My shrink used to say everyone has a note. Like everybody's got kind of like a slant of how they look at life. And so I was going through one of the books, and I had found at the top of the page, "Restless with No Place to Go." And I'd written that in the late 90s. And then I wrote a song called "Restless with No Place to Go" 3 years ago. I didn't know that existed. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, I was like, I felt restless with no place to go. And I wrote that down, and I'd already written it down 20 years ago. So that's why I think it's really important to hang on to everything and have your little archives, because it's all coming from your life experiences and your personal growth and also your artistic growth. If the more you write, maybe hopefully the better you get, or the more skills you have. And so that was sort of really surprising to me. I kind of, oh my God, this is one of my themes. I'm always restless with no place to go. Duh. And so no matter how much medication or drinking or romance, it's still there.
Well, you heard it here first. If you want to write,
hello world.
You want to write great music, you have to first finish Netflix, and then
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's interesting you say that, because we hear a song, we hear the finished product, it's 3.5 minutes, and we go, in our brain, it's 3.5 minutes, but it sometimes can take, like you said, 20 years, where you'll have a couple words, something catchy, and then years go by, then you add that in.
Well, and also, like, I can write, like, 20 verses, and then I can only do 3. So what am I going to do with those other ones? Yeah. So I put them aside, and I look at the ideas that I used in those, and I use them for something else. So that's why I keep everything. My house is filled with paper. It's driving me nuts. And then I also took the year to put all my songs that I'm playing currently into a book that's alphabetized, which is like saved my life, because I would lie awake and worry about my songs. I'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah. And you say you split it up like that if you write a bunch of verses, but could you do like a Bob Dylan Murder Most Foul and release a 17-minute song? Is that something that
I don't think there are any rules. I don't think,
right.
Well, there were never really any rules, but I don't think there are any rules, right?
Sort of like you know the rules before you can break the rules, sort of thing? Yeah. Or not? I mean, I'm just
I think there are parameters. Yeah, I don't know if there are rules.
I mean, folk music is very broad. And I'm a huge fan of traditional ballads, and I spent every Friday afternoon for the last year tuned into Dublin Singers Club by Zoom. They did an amazing transition for traditional music. This is a club where people just sit in a room about this size, acoustically, and they have a session, like you might have a tune session, except it's all songs. So they managed to sort of translate this to Zoom. And I just immersed myself that every Friday afternoon. I would just listen to these Irish traditional songs, and they have no rules. So they can have 17 verses. And yeah, that's the beauty of folk music, I think.
You can also kill many people in one song as well.
That's right. Well, the head count pretty high.
The beauty with doing a 17-minute song on Zoom is you can mute it if it's too long.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what else I love is that you can sing along. If you like singing along with people, but you try and do it discreetly and you're not always in tune with your harmony, it's perfect. You just mute yourself and away you go.
Right.
Sing at the top of your voice.
Right, yeah.
And then also yes, it's true. You can mute someone else that you're not really enjoying their particular contribution.
By the way,
no one need know.
You were great at incorporating the audience tonight and audience participation. That was fantastic to watch. Did you have you both done a lot of virtual Zoom shows in the last year and a half? Yeah, I know. That's the general consensus, right? Pivot. We both loathe that word.
The word I despise the most right now is the word pivot.
Pivot, grit, and circle back. We could end those. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, we were talking a bit about this, and I know that we're Zooming tonight or streaming, but if you're used to a live audience and you're getting, like, my thing about music is vibration. Everything is vibration, right? So you're sending something out, people are receiving it, they're sending it back, especially when there's a voice in the room singing, because it's beautiful vibration that's cutting into people's souls and into their bodies. And, like one of my favorite things is that when cats are sick, they purr to soothe themselves. And I think that music, because music is vibration, it soothes us in the same way because it's coming into us. And so on the Zoom, it's just so hard. You don't feel like you're getting across, and you're not getting applause. You can't hear people like saying, "Oh, that was great," which we need, right? We need it. And so there's no reciprocity or something. It's just like I find it really lonely.
It is.
And with the first one I did, I thought, "Oh my God, I can't do one of these again." And then I did another one, and it was a little better because I made it more intimate. I find when I try to be sort of like show businessy, it doesn't work. I find when it's like I'm just sitting at my desk and playing songs, and then I stop and people talk to me, I find that's better. It's like a house concert, which I love. So
yeah, because more conversational, less of a performance.
Less pressure to, do this, which is hard to do on a little,
on a webcam.
Yeah.
And you, Maria, have you done a bunch?
I didn't say no to any that I was asked to do, but I didn't seek them out because, like Lynn said,
that's a good philosophy to have for
it was so much expending so much energy, and I did. Some people did it really well, where they was still whoever was running the session would show you the people on the other side. You could see them in their little boxes, and if they had learned how to be a good audience. If they knew how helpful that feedback was, in some cases it was wonderful because I could see people would be going out of their way to give me visual feedback that they were enjoying the song.
Yeah.
And that made a huge difference. In fact, the last one that I did, I think was in May, and the host for that, I didn't quite get to see everyone in squares, but I did get to see the host, and he was like, he had his lighter out and or his phone out. He had his phone out, like he was, in fact, to the point where I almost burst out laughing. But it was so helpful, so people who knew how to be a good audience given the new technology, people that knew that you needed that extra visual. Yeah. That it was helpful for people to be going like that, or visibly you could see them singing along. So, but yeah, it was a big energy. The big advantage is that the comfy slippers could stay on the whole time.
That's right.
And as soon as I was finished, the fridge was just over there. I didn't have to load out anywhere, and I could just have a wee tasty beverage afterwards.
That's right. Is that applause? If you shake it, it's... Oh, wow. What is it, an app that you shake and it applauds?
Yeah, I started using that on my Zoom concerts because I was so lonely.
I'm gonna have to start telling everybody at my comedy shows to download the app before they get there and then do the thing.
If you're going to a Zoom show, it's called Slow Clap. And I just because it starts off like,
right? I forgot to mention also that this evening is brought to you by Slow Clap, the app. Available on the App Store and Google Play. Slow Clap.
But also, like, it's funny, like, several years ago, I did, like, something like 28 shows in 30 days. I did a tour in Europe by train by myself, lugging all my stuff. And when I got home, I think I said to somebody, I wish I could just play concerts in my apartment.
Right?
Wish I
It's
could
your
just,
fault.
like, roll out of bed in my jammies and have people just sit there and then go back to bed.
Cue the
So
pandemic, and then
be
it's
careful
like...
what you wish for, right?
Right. So this is all your fault, is what you're saying. This whole
A lot
the
of
last
it.
18 months.
Not all of it, but a lot of it.
Well, as you both mentioned, this is such a live art form. You know, I mean, it's great. It does translate to a certain extent on camera, and we have a live audience tonight online. But there's nothing like in the room. So, in the spirit of being in the room, I'm going to throw it to the audience here, our live studio audience. Do we have any questions for Lynn Miles or Maria Dunn? Anybody? You've had some time to think about it. No pressure either way. I know this is we're all socializing for the first time. We don't know how to act. Yes, we have a question here.
I love it. Don't you love on Zoom, like when you're meeting your people you haven't seen? Oh, your hair. It's the first thing you say. Thank you very much. It hasn't been cut for 2 years. Thank you.
Anyway, I was wondering if you were able to play that song to the man, the homeless man, would he appreciate that, or would you what?
Well, I changed his name and everything, and I embellished a bit. I thought about that. I was wondering, like, is there a way I can take that song and generate some income to give him? Or I didn't tell him about it. I haven't seen him in a little while because I've changed neighborhoods. But I don't know. I have been thinking about it. But yeah, thank you. He might like. I don't know. I mean, it's a sad story, right? And if it's the story of your life and it's sad, do you want it to be put into a song? So he remains anonymous because of that, but
Yeah.
that's a good question.
It's an interesting question. Like, how would he feel? I wonder. Probably honored. It might be the little brightness that he needs in his otherwise dark life.
I don't know.
We might never know.
I might never know.
All right. Yeah, we have a question over here, my friend.
Question for Maria. And all the organizations you belong to in Edmonton, can you say there's any progress from the work you've been doing? Is there anything positive?
That's a great question. I'm just going to repeat it for our online audience. With all the organizations that you're involved with in Edmonton, have you seen any progress?
You're talking about the issue of housing?
Social justice in general,
Right.
homelessness, housing.
I know the city tried really hard, and the Camp Picawaywen Peace Camp last summer really put everyone's feet to the fire in terms of really understanding the issue. So I believe that there is progress happening. I don't belong to any of these organizations, but I've been following what they've been doing, and I believe there is, but it's again the rate, the number of people who are unhoused at this point is, I think, something like 2,700 the last time I looked, within the last couple of weeks. And that's up from before the pandemic. But I think there's more awareness there. I think there is more momentum of people really understanding in their communities that we need to do a lot better. And so I hope, but this is part of what I want to get into over the next months, maybe as the fourth wave makes it a bit more possible to talk, to engage with people in the community, and to go out or to ask them if I can meet with some people and talk about these things, and do they actually want me to write a song about some of these things. And that's work that I would still like to do. And is it getting better? I really hope so. I know that Edmonton elected a city council just a couple weeks ago that at least my city councillor has that as a priority for what they want to do. I think that awareness is very much there, and I think it's a more progressive council that will continue the work that the city was trying to do. Medicine Hat has a net zero, but has a zero homeless, so 0 people houseless in Medicine Hat. Wow. And yeah, so we need to look more closely. Everyone, all the cities in our country need to look more closely at how Medicine Hat is doing this. They are a smaller city, but they're obviously doing something very effective there in terms of having street teams that are able to pull people into some kind of housing or supportive housing. We don't have supportive housing for people who can't manage on their own. We don't have enough of it. We have so many people in mental health crises, and we have the toxic drug crises as well. So all of these things have combined. So I hope that the awareness and the action is getting more in Edmonton. Certainly, it in some ways I've been so immersed in it that I don't have a perception of standing back, but I do know that Homeward Trust and all of these other service organizations, they are working together, and they are trying to cover things that are missing and coordinate with each other, whatever one group provides that another might not. So I have every hope that that's going to continue forward, but we need some federal funding, and we need our province of Alberta to also be part of this solution, because the big cities have been bearing a lot of trying to figure this out. That's probably more long-winded than you wanted.
Yes, that was pretty good. I mean, that covered it all. Yeah.
That's awesome. I was talking to Maria backstage. I said, I always feel uncomfortable at these kinds of things because I'm not as immersed as someone like Maria is, and I don't want to detract from the cause and be, what did I say? I don't remember. Anyway, I do know some things about it. I do know that I was on the board of directors of the PAL Residence, which is a building that's being built for the Ottawa artistic community, so artists who are over 55 who are having housing struggles can go on the waiting list, and it should be built within 2 years. I think they've started it, and so I was on that committee, and I've moved probably 40 times in 60 years, and I have been homeless. And my family, we were working class, and we never owned a house, and we lived in basement apartments, so some of that song where I was singing about the basement apartments is about my own life, so I can speak to my own life experiences of how desperate you feel when your rent goes up and you have to try to find another place in a city like Ottawa where, the average rent is at now like $1,600 for a reasonable one-bedroom apartment that doesn't have crime and is clean. And another thing I wanted to say about that also is the Airbnb thing, which is destroying the middle of cities. I mean, I've, and I have friends who travel, and I'm constantly like, don't take an Uber and don't do Airbnb. Hello, Internet. Because every time somebody, opens up an Airbnb unit in a building, there's another apartment that's gone. And I also think that real estate should not be a commodity. It should be, I know that people are making money. You buy a house and you pay the mortgage for many years and you commit to it, and it's a big commitment, and then you hope that when you reach a certain age you can sell it and make some cash, and I understand that, but I don't think it should be exorbitant. I don't think having a real estate bubble and paying $300,000 over the asking price of a house is completely ridiculous when there's not enough housing, right? So I live it. I live in a condo that's owned by friends of mine, and when the pandemic started, they cut my rent. by a substantial amount. I wouldn't be living there if they hadn't done that, because I can't afford rent in Ottawa. So so I'm living it. That's where my experience comes from. So yeah.
Very rich. And here in the Gatineau Hills.
Very poor.
Well, rich in anecdotes, I guess.
Thank you.
We relate here at the Gatineau Hills Airbnb, because here at the Gatineau Hills Airbnb, if you rent one out to 6 people, you can have 500 in school buses show up.
Well, that's the other thing.
Yeah. We're on. And there's another question back here. Yes. How did you make your living during the pandemic?
I'm going bankrupt. I didn't make a living. So.
It was tough. Everything dried up.
It was very rough. No source of income. I did a couple months of CERB, but then they cut it off because of my income tax issues. So then I have a friend who's been really good, and my rent was cut, and I taught some stuff online. I did some teaching, and then I did the odd Zoom concert, and sort of managed to get through each month, scraping by. So yeah.
This is why nights like this are important,
Yeah.
Well, I'm lucky in that I live in a family home, so I haven't had to pay rent.
Wow.
That's been a gift to me over the last months. And I did some Zoom concerts, and I know other people who've done teaching pivoted to online teaching, and we're able to retain some of that income that way. I was very fortunate in that I had recorded the whole new album, Joyful Banner Blazing, by January 2020. So we were at the mixing, mastering stage. And I had invested all the money in advance and then did the final report so that I got some grant money come back to me. So that has, thank you, Edmonton Arts Council and Alberta Foundation for the Arts for the funding that I've received to help me put out that album. And so that really helped, just the timing of that helped me. But yeah, I did Zoom concerts. I did a lot of outdoor concerts, not so much last summer. We waited, everyone were quite conscious waited till the end of the summer, but then there was a glut of activity and some really beautiful people that invited me to do a backyard concert and paid me well, and all of the people that came to it. And then we did a whole lot of that this summer. The Edmonton Folk Festival put on community concerts. So they went out to all these different communities, in a way quite magical, that these are folks that might not make it down to Gallagher Park for the big folk festival weekend every year, and we were playing in their communities. So it was a lot of outdoor gigs this summer, a lot of things that if you had talked to me in June, if you had talked to me at the end of May, I had nothing. I didn't know what I was going to do for the summer, and then within a week, all of these people obviously decided they could do a certain number of outdoor concerts. So that really helped. And I really appreciate all of those people with those creative imaginations to take the care to do it very safely in their backyard and make sure that everyone felt safe. So it's been very humbling to have people step up that way for you.
And also the Wakefield Writers Festival stepped up, and I want to thank them very much.
Yes.
Like, this has been on the books for a little while, and they've treated us really well, and it's made a difference in my life, so thank you.
And it's a great way to launch into somewhat regular life and start gigging, and this is a sort of good launching pad. So thank you both. This has been, honestly, personally, a big honor of mine to share the stage with you guys tonight and share your stories through song and to witness the world-exclusive premiere of both of your songs. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank, once again, Marie Dunn and Lynn Miles. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Julien. Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much. You guys have been fantastic. Enjoy the rest of the festival. I'd like to thank Peter Gillies and Hélène Giroux. Thank you so much. Oh, there's PG. There he is. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. This has been Viral Songs. Go to the Writers Fête website for programming for the rest of the event. Yes, Slow Clap, the app. This event has been brought to you by Slow Clap, available on Apple Store and Google Play. Thank you so much. My name is Julien Dionne. We'll see you again. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Julian.
Any fine salad jacket and everything red, enough to tie all